Okay, so today we're going to do a bit of revision just of the overall structure from the people who were here previously. But you won't miss anything if you weren't here. And then we're looking at those two areas: work integrated occupational programs and informal skills acquisition. Okay, so what we have, and I'm going to combine the feedback from last time. I got quite a lot of feedback from numerous people via email. I've captured all of that information. And one of the recommendations, especially, was that we shouldn't, when we have the post-school chain, if you open it, you don't go to higher education. Sorry for you. But that we actually focus on those areas before you get to higher education. So these are the 4 streams that we have actually by now agreed on. We might be able to sort of shape a bit on the terminology. But so these are the 4 main post-school options. The one is the TVET colleges. I think most of us are aware of that. The other is called Work Integrated Occupational Programs, Higher Education and Informal Skills Acquisition. And today I'm going to be talking about these 2 because we covered those 2 in the previous session. But I will show you just how they broke, how we've divided them. This will work like any website, website that you go into, your knowledge hub, and then you go to post-school access, and then you'll have these 4 options. When you click on TVET, those are the 3 options that you get. And as you click, obviously, on TVET colleges, it will give you information about what they are, where they are, who they are, what they do, and so on. So I'm just showing you the broad structure, and we'll go into more detail on the others. So here, this is what we're looking at today, and this is where it would be very nice for you to give input when we go down a bit more detail. We've broken these down. We finally decided on this terminology of work integrated occupational programs. We didn't want to call it work integrated learning because that's a specific concept within the skills development area. So that's what we call them. And in there we've got those different ones: learnerships, apprenticeships, internships, skills programs, and then other occupational focused programs. And I'm going to deal with these a bit more in a bit more detail. The higher education is quite a simple structure, where you've got the universities, university technology, and then also the occupation-focused training, which is actually something new I brought in because I kept thinking about them and I didn't know what to do with them. It's like the police colleges and the nursing colleges, agricultural colleges, and most of them basically do higher education. But if you notice, they were also under the work integrated occupational learning, because sometimes places like Sudara, they also do short programs in agriculture. And so that's what that section is about. And then, what I think we're all very excited about is we've got the 4th stream, and that is informal skills acquisition, and it actually addresses a lot of the issues that you've been talking about. What we're basically saying there is, if you don't fit into the formal structure, there are a lot of ways in which you can acquire skills, develop skills, and they can be used either in your own business or in other businesses. And that's when we talk about the community colleges that used to be in public adult learning centers, and then various types of work experience that we combined. You know, the expanded public works program, community works programs, the government on-the-job training, and even volunteering. So, you know, if you volunteer at your church or at a sports club, any kind of volunteering, it's all accumulates skills. So if you can't find a seat at a college or at a university, there are other ways in which you can prepare yourself for a workplace. Informal short courses, so those would be ones that are not, and I always say they're not subquastrated, they don't belong in the they're not in a formal qualification, unit standards, that kind of space. They are, and also emphasizing the fact that there's a space for them. The free programs. I'm working on an entrepreneurship program at the moment, and we have to use open source information. Developing a whole 2-year entrepreneurship program, and I'm again amazed at all the free information on the internet. Full courses that you can do for a year and for 6 months and for 2 weeks and for 3 days. And also to encourage people that if you can't go and do a bit of office administration or project management or whatever, writing skills, I mean, it's all there, masses and masses of information. So, okay, so that's the outline. The first bit now in work integrated occupational program, so that's now the second leg of those 4 main nodes. What is a learnership? And these are the kind of information. I'm just giving you the overall structure. We don't have all the detailed information yet. So basically, what is a learnership? What does it look like? What are examples of a learnership? Why choose a learnership? But to stress the fact that for each of these types of learning programs, they all have different benefits, they all have different advantages, disadvantages, they're all structured in a totally different way, they serve a different purpose. And I think that's one of the things that we've been trying to do throughout this chain, is to say that there are different places where you can learn and different types of learning and different things you can learn, and they all have serve a purpose. So try to find the thing that is really made for you. How does the learnership work? The whole learnership agreement, the contract between the employer and the training provider, and the whole contractual arrangement of a learnership we'll discuss there. The financial arrangement, the fact that they set up grants available, that the learners are funded, get a stipend while they are there. And then with all of these, we layer it, as you can also in a sense see. Maybe it's difficult to see with this bit of information, but it's all in layers. So you've got the four main nodes. When you click on the one, you've got the different layers, and you can go further and further. We're trying to write it in such a way that you can maybe start with TVET, and it says, what is TVET? And you say, well, this is what they do. They do technical and vocational training. This is the kind of training that they do. That you immediately say, that's not really for me, and you go to the next node. So the training providers that offer learnership, so there would, in this case, there will be links to the kinds of, first of all, the kinds of training providers that offer learnerships, and then probably a link to some of the TVET colleges. I don't know if all TVET colleges are actually offering learnerships, I know a lot of them. Apprenticeships is the next one. So the same, very similar thing with apprenticeships. What is an apprenticeship? So again, examples, references, so you can get the whole list of trades. There is a list, we can give a link to the trade. Why choose an apprenticeship? How does it work? How do I get onto an apprenticeship? And then explain the whole trade testing, how that works, and the National Article Migrating Body, how that whole formal registration process works. Financial arrangement, beginning with the CETAs. And of course, here, what's nice on the internet, of course, there will only be one list of CETAs, and every time we just link to the same document. So we're also going to have knowledge products, and you'll be linking to those products from different areas in the website. Also training providers. Okay, I haven't changed that to apprenticeship, sorry. Note again, use the CETA one. So this just to give you an overview. So we're still in work integrated internships. To talk about the internships, because generally there's this internship like the article clerks, where you finish your qualification, then you go for an internship, and then you get registered with a professional body. But there's also internships that are mainly work experience, and they seem to be far more of those in the workplace, where people simply take somebody in for 6 months or 3 months. They call it an internship. It's not, technically speaking, it's not really an internship, but everybody's using that term. So just to explain the difference, how do they work, what are the benefits, how to get there. And then there we've got those nursing, agricultural, everything that I've already mentioned. So that looks like a lot. I suppose it will be a lot when it's finished, but that's the second leg of missed another one, skills program. So skills programs, these ones are NQF-able. They are sequestrated, and everybody's quite happy that they'll get credits for them at the end of the program. So there are the unit standards-based or part qualifications that they register now. For those who may not be familiar now, SAQA now registered what we call whole qualifications, but a full qualification. But they also register part qualifications, which is quite a nice concept. So you actually do part of a qualification, and then you can do another part, and then finally do the entire qualification. What are the benefits of skills programs? I love skills programs because they're short, they normally very work-based, practically focused. Training providers that offer them, how to check that the programs are credit bearing. It's very important if you are doing a program that's supposed to be credit bearing, that you make sure that it is actually credit bearing. Okay, so each of these, as I said, when you go into the node, it gives you some description of what do we mean by informal skills acquisition. So just a description of that, and talk about the value of it, the possibility of progressing into formal learning. What we do stress throughout is that you don't only go to TVET or higher education. You can actually move in between these. And especially here to say that you may start with informal learning in office administration, and then you may go to a TVET college, and you may end up in the university. funding for informal courses. I have to do something there, but there is a lot of funding that is available, and I think in the NGO sector, NGO sector, you also know. The community colleges, I have to bring them in here. It's a bit difficult at the moment because they've just started, but we'll put in something about them, the types of courses they offer, where to find them, financial arrangements, again, everywhere. Informal short courses. So this is, they focus on skills, they know credits, but maybe you get certificate of attendance, spacing or completion, and then examples like home-based care or some farming, agricultural program. And now work experience, the four main types that we've, at this stage where it's not cast in stone yet, the expanded public works, community works, on-the-job training, and then volunteering. And for all of those, I will say, what's a short description of each with examples, the benefits, the guidelines on how to select them, what best addresses you need, the institutions that offer them, how to get involved, how to access the opportunities, where to find them, etc. And then the free programs, the MOOCs, that I learned as the term, but they call it all these open source ones on the internet, and different types of examples and benefits of them. Okay. One last thing that I've included here, because it was also raised here, and we've spoken about it at Bridge. And this will be up front. It will cover all of these. It's actually one of the first notes that you go to is strategies for success. The new world of work, to explain to people that this is not, you don't just have one career and this is the rest of your life. So you can move between these. Making career choices. Different types of jobs have different advantages. To say that some, maybe as an accountant you make a lot of money, but do you really want to do that job for the rest of your life? And then building a career pathway, that's a lifelong journey. You don't have to start where you end. You can take routes there. Where to find information on career choices, there's a lot of information, so we can link to a lot of stuff. Selecting the appropriate type of program, as I said earlier, for me that's very important. What is the type of program that you want to do? Is it vocational, academic, whatever? And also the delivery mode. Are you good to study distance learning? Or do you need to do contact? I think these are all, part of the university problem, I think, is because most of those people shouldn't be there in the first place. That's why you're battling to keep them there. So we need to have a better filter before, so that all of you guys who are working on trying to keep the students at university can be working in the skills sector. Because they're not, that's why they're battling, because they don't belong there. They should be elsewhere. That's what we're going to try to do. Physical requirements like eyesight and hearing, check. Maybe your eyesight is a problem. There's no dead end in the school. Post-school, you can move between them. And don't always only think about employment. Please think about entrepreneurship. I will stress that very much because I've been on the work there. Importance is post-school that you can't just have a matric. You have to do something. Whether it's formal or informal, you can't just have a matric. Options available if you drop out of school, because we say, now you've dropped out, maybe also to say once you've dropped out of school or university, whatever, what do you do? To try to get them to get back to the system, the value of work experience, and then the importance of some things like commitment and work experience. So this is also, we want to put in a whole thing about strategies for success, and if we would really like comments on that.